This is a son's testament to the father's heart. He was born with half of a heart. He was told he would die, but the father's heart was for him. Lost his father, and still the father's heart was with him. God came to him, wrapped around him, and healed him of his heart defects, but most of all, his broken heart. This set him ablaze as God had opened up the windows of heaven for him to see his love, to see his heart.
My relationship with my dad was awesome. He was a friend to me. He really showed me that he, was invested in me. He always bragged on me. He was always there for me. He was a stonemason, and he was really just like a hard worker. But he, really showed those mentalities into me immediately, and those kind of mindsets to kind of press for whatever you believe for. But yeah, but when I was 16, he passed of a spontaneous heart attack. He was going on a rock wall job, and it was just out of nowhere. It was sudden. It was really just kind of just out of nowhere, and he really just didn't expect it no way else. He was healthy, and so it was really like sudden. The process of really grieving in that place, kind of where my dad was such a supportive person, and even in times where he didn't really always communicate it verbally, but I always knew he believed in me. So I felt like when I had lost that, I had lost such a good friend. My father was so invested in me, and so when I had lost my dad, I was just lost in that, like, whoa, where do I find my security? Where do I find my security in believing in myself and what I can do and the abilities of the rest of my life? And when you're living through life, you turn around and you're like, whoa, I wonder how he's seeing me. I wonder what he's thinking about. I wonder, if I'm really pleasing him. And the Father spoke to me so deeply and said, there is no orphan in my eyes. It talks about the scripture where we are the apple of his eye, and in him there is no orphan. And a lot of people, disagree. Well, this, person's struggling as an orphan with an orphan heart. But for me, it was much like, yeah, I was fatherless, but I was never fatherless. And so the God, throughout this whole process, began to show me and sow into me that I'm a son, no matter what no matter what the cost, and no matter what is really present in the moment, no matter what the issues and the hardship, he was a father to the fatherless, and that was shown in so many different ways, around with so many different people in my life. When people started speaking good over my life, it was, and it was always good, but God really showed me that what was being spoken into my life was really him. And when all of that was kind of just cultivated in my heart and in my life, God began to show me that what he's saying over me and what he's saying into me is true, and that I can be confident in the fact that I am a son. I can be confident in the fact that I can go forward in this place, that no matter what I go through, he's there. Because especially with everything that I went through with the heart conditions and all the different stuff that tried, all these setbacks, God really used to say, like, I'm divinely putting you in the right place for you to be able to see me, that I'm holding you, that I'm keeping you safe under the shadow of my wings, and it was really helpful to see that in times to where it was hard to see, like, is anybody around me? Is anybody surrounding me? Is anybody here? And God really showed me that my arms surround you, my arms wrap around you, I am embracing you. So that was big. That was a big step for me, and it was really helpful to be able to serve from that place, that his arms are around me, and I'm always identified by that his arms are around me, that he's embracing me as Mason, as a son of God. I'm not identified in any gift I've ever been given. I'm not identified in anything that the world says I am, or the world has chained me down to, especially as a kid with a heart defect, but I am completely identified in him. So that is what completely shifted me into this place, and into a better place that I am now, of just being confident and reliant in the fact that he is a father, and he says that I love you, Mason. I love you because you're a son. I don't love you for anything you can do or anything you will do, because I'm confident that a lot of people, there's a lot of voices that are ringing true in this earth, and everybody's like, look, I don't know if the world's changing. I believe God will change the world, but what I do believe is that God will change us, and he'll change our hearts to really shape us into his heart, because if the Father's heart is for us, then we can have access to that. So that really was a big thing for me, that I can have access to the Father's heart. No matter what we go through, and no matter what odds we're faced with, no matter in the midst of a lot of things. I mean, you can be in the worst spot, in the worst time, in the worst situation, with the worst circumstances. But the fact that the Father says, I am for you, gives you a reason to keep pressing, gives you a reason to say that I'm willing to come into a place that's better for me. Because a lot of people do not think that there is better for them. They think that a father's mad. They think that a father is angry, but there is a better place in his heart for us. There is something that is so for us and never against us, that his love can completely overcome everything that we are and shape us by the character of Jesus. So that's something that, really is big and has been completely a truth for me to stand on, that he is for us, and if he is for us, then we can step into a place of being sons and daughters embraced by him, loved by the Father, and a world can see that they will see your good works and see your good deeds and praise your Father in heaven.